Hi Student Success, welcome to week 5 assignment video. So you have a chapter 12 that will go over kind of the content of the chapter and as it relates to kind of the general idea that we're focusing on. But in terms of assignments this week, it's going to look a little different because it's not necessarily like a chapter 12 assignment, but this video is going to just focus on these first 2 assignments, and then my next video will focus on these 2 assignments. So you do have a discussion forum this week, but in order to complete the discussion forum, you have to complete this assignment first. So for your weekly attendance, you have to complete this assignment and then use the, not necessarily results, but use what you did in this assignment to respond to the discussion forum prompt. All right, so again, I'm just focusing on these first 2 for this video. I will be back with a video that covers just this because this is a rather lengthy assignment right here and I want to make sure that you're comfortable with it. All right, so let's jump into these 2 assignments. So under the assignment area, educational pathways to a career assignment, I'm going to scroll down and this is going to be something that you hit play and it's going to talk to you.
Picking a degree
I'm just going to click through it quite a bit, but you are welcome to kind of look through and click on the links, but I'm going to get to the meat of it right here. And so you can see here you have academic degree choice 1, and then on the next page it's going to be choice 2. So there are 2 academic degrees. What you are going to do is find information about the degree that you are pursuing as well as a second degree choice. Now you can handle this a couple different ways. First, maybe you're undecided. So you can use this as an opportunity to look at 2 different degrees that you might be interested in. Second, maybe you already decided and maybe your physical therapy assistant program. Your second degree can be like occupational therapy, something that's a little close to it. Or you can use the second degree choice as like just something fun, like, hey, culinary is fun, but I don't think I'd ever go into it, but I'm curious about what it takes to get your culinary degree. So have your first choice be the career choice that you're really leaning toward or already have decided to declare a major in. And then your second one as either like a connected field or like a fun choice. All right, so where do you get this information? All right, so I'm going to go through, there's 2 kind of blocks. We're going to look at this information first. To get this information, I'm going to go to the Stark State homepage and I'm going to go under academics and I'm going to go to career communities. And I'm going to, for this one, use physical therapy assistant as my kind of overview of my major. So I'm going to go into health. And again, hopefully you can kind of see where yours would fit in, your degree would fit in under this umbrella. So I'm going to go to health. All of these pages look very similar though once you get in here, whether it's education, business, health. It's going to have information about the field in general, contact information over here, skills that you need for the field, some links that connect to that information, connected fields. So again, if you're going into a field and you're like, oh, what is there anything similar? This has a bunch of other careers that are connected to it. And then at the very bottom, this is where you're going to actually find your degree plan. So I'm going to click on physical therapy assistant and it's going to take me to this specific degree. So now I have more of a program contact. I have a little video that walks me through some information, other information related to just this major. You can see there's a lot of info in here, more info down here. Okay, so when I come up here, I'm going to click on courses and there's full-time and there's part-time. They both have the same info. It's just basically, suggestions on which path to take in terms of what classes to take when. I'm just going to click on full-time. And I also want to show real quickly that even if I were to go to like a different field, you can see how, again, this looks just the same down here. And then we get in here and I click on courses. So again, they're all set up very similarly. All right, but here is the program plan. So here's where I'm going to get my information for my assignment. It first wants to know the division and the degree. So the division is listed right here, Health and Public Services Division. And then my degree is Associate of Applied Science. Okay, so there's my division right here. It's always going to have division next to it. And then your degree is the Associate of, and then in this case, it's Applied Science. So there's my division and my degree. Underneath it is the major. So in that case, this is just right here, physical therapy assistant, right there. And then it wants to know program requirements. Okay, so this is where I do not expect you to like type out all of this information. What I would do from here is maybe just say, okay, 65 credits. So that's one of the program requirements, 65 credits. And then I might scroll down and see, okay, there's a C in all technical and non-technical programs. There is an application process. So that's what I'm going to put down. I'm not going to list all these classes and everything I need to take. That's unreasonable. But I will pick just a few things. I would put down how many credit hours I have to take, my GPA requirement, and that a program application is there. So that's where I'm going to get my information for this first one. And the same thing for choice 2. All of that's going to come from a program plan that looks like this. Now, the bottom part, right down here, I'm going to go ahead and use, and this is going to become comfortable and familiar with you as this is part of your other assignment this week. I'm going to scroll down and go to Career Coach. When I click on there, I'm going to come up here and go to Search, and I'm just going to type in Physical Therapy Assistant. And it's going to take a minute, I guess. Internet on campus is a little slow. I'm going to find one that fits the best, so I could scroll through here quite a bit, but the first one is the best fit. So I'm going to click on that. And this is going to start giving me some information. I encourage you to kind of click around in it just to see what's going on. It's going to tell you a little bit about the field, how much you can make, where you can find employment, the projection, like, hey, this is a growing field, how many people have posted jobs lately, who is posting those jobs. You also have similar careers, live job postings, and of course, just an overview there. But this is where I'm going to get the next set of information. Down here, job or career. So again, I would just put in physical therapy assistant, the average salary. Oops. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Too many things to click on. Right here, median salary. Job postings. So I would just come back here to job postings and pick like the first 2. You know, just like, okay, this is right here and right here. If you're lucky, if this is the field you're going into, you'll have a whole bunch there kind of showing you that there is a lot of need in the area. And then qualifications. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on this and I'm going to look and say, okay, qualifications. I need an associate degree, maybe a bachelor's degree one day. I need to be able to do these things here as well as these things here. Again, I don't expect you to list every single little thing. Pluck out a few. Pluck out a few skills, pluck out a few, qualifications that they're looking for. And then you just hit check, and then it'll go to the next choice. That is your educational pathways to a career assignment. Now, you have to complete this first to be able to complete the discussion forum. So when you get your prompt, it says discuss your findings from the assignment, meaning the one we just talked about. Which degree or majors did you choose? What you found interesting and what surprised you. So you're basically just saying, hey, I looked into physical therapy and occupational therapy. Here's what I learned. Here's what was new. Here's what was surprising. Here's what I already knew. So just kind of reflect on that. So tell us about the 2 fields that you looked into. Is one of them the field you're definitely going into? Are you undecided? So just kind of reflect on what you found, what you learned, what you talked about in that previous assignment. So you want to post that by Wednesday for your weekly attendance and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Right? So that is your first 2 assignments. Your Exploring Educational Pathways assignment where we used the different resources here, and then your forum post, which is basically a reflection on the assignment. I will be back to talk to you specifically about the Career Services assignment.